So you can just drop your questions. Welcome once again. On today's episode, we are going to be looking into something more advanced than graphics design. Our facilitator here promised us something better than graphics design, and I've decided I'm going to hold you by his words. So basically, what we're going to be doing here today is introduction to web design. If I'm correct, and I'm not correct. Okay, it's going to do a better introduction of the topic. So basically, yeah, today we have on Olatunji Olawale, a web designer, UI UX designer. Yes, I was just joking. Yeah, I'll send you the link. I'm coming. A UI UX designer, and he's going to take us through introduction to um, user interface design. Yes, that's what's going to take us through. Thank you very much. So it's going to start now. Drum rolls. Yeah. Thank you.
Um, Hello. Yeah, what's up, guys? Hello. Okay. Please, can you help me? I can't share my screen. Can I fix that,
Okay.
please?
So I think I need you to request permission to share your screen. So then I will just.
It's just saying host disabled persons
All
ban
right.
sharing
I'm
screen.
coming.
It's
Hold
not
on.
giving me an option to request.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'll do that now.
Okay. Okay, so while that is happening, I'll just introduce myself and the topic for today.
All right.
So if you'll be watching live, if you are watching live, feel free to ask me a question at any point. But if you're going to be watching later, you can always drop a comment. I'll try and check the video later. Maybe I can answer some of the questions. My name is Olawale Olatunji. I am a product designer. And today's class, we're going to be talking about introduction to user interface design. Basically, we are going to be designing a mobile app. And once I can share my screen, I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to show you the app we're going to try to recreate. This is a was an application I was working on as a case study for myself, and I've actually done some part of the work. So I'll just take you through some of the thoughts and how I was able to come up with some of the screens. I'm going to try and make the class as beginner friendly as possible, but I'm also going to try and make sure I show you some of the advanced techniques in Figma and how professional designers do work. So definitely for you to fully become a product designer, you need more than this class. This class is just to show you what is possible and just like a day in my office technically. Okay, I'll try to see. Okay, I can share my screen now. Thank you. So
Fine.
okay. This is
Yeah.
what I want to
Sorry, you can share your screen now.
start. Yes, I can. Okay. Can you confirm that you can now see my screen, please? Can someone confirm that you can see my
Yes,
screen?
I can now see your screen, Mr.
Uh,
Product Designer.
can you confirm what you are seeing? Can you can
I'm
you confirm
seeing,
what you are seeing, so
I'm
I'll just be
seeing
sure.
get started, create,
Okay. Okay, so I'll just be starting the prototype. This is just an example of what we are going to try and recreate in this class, but I'm going to take you through from the very beginning. So I'm going to restart this prototype now to just show you this splash screen. So it's a simple learning application that I was doing for my case study, like I said. The idea is to make it very fun, and that's why we have this smiling false guy. So it's very simple application. Does it create an account, enter password, create account, verify your code. Once you get congratulations, take an onboarding test, view, submit, which features, select the features you like, submit, submit, select your afternoon, submit. So I'm also going to show you how to make this prototype work the way it is working like this. No, this is not a real application. This is just a Figma prototype. But as you can see, it's giving you more like a live application kind of vibes. So that's the go. So submit, select, submit, So, and also I'll show you how I made this guy move, and this is just the home screen. Like I say, it is a work in process. I'm not in progress. I'm not done with it, but I don't think we'll be able to get to these other screens in the training anyway, but I'm going to start by showing you how Figma works. So I'm going to be sharing my screen in Figma now. Can you confirm you can see a blank screen with nothing?
Yes, I can see blank screen, and also I think when you stop for this class, you can also continue tomorrow. It's two sessions today and tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'll start by showing you. I'll just start showing you some of the things in Figma and how some of these shapes and everything are being formed. I'm very sorry I cannot show you the home page of my Figma account due to some privacy issues, but Figma is actually very simple, and one of the reasons why I chose Figma for this course. You just need to go to figma.com and create an account. It is completely free. At this point, you don't need any payment. You need payment in Figma when you start doing collaboration, but for this of this course and for you to actually learn, you don't need to go Figma. It is completely free. Just go to figma.com. And one more thing, I don't know if you can see, I'm actually using it in my web browser. So this means you don't need to download an application. And most systems, as long as you are using a system to watch movies on VLC, it should be able to get you started. It is Figma. That's actually one of the best Figma. I'll just start by embodying on the interface on Figma, where to find things and how to move around in Figma. So first things first is this top panel. This is where you get your tools in Figma. Figma is actually more simplified in terms of tools when you compare it to tools like Illustrator or something. Like these are very simple tools. So the first two and probably the most important one is your move tool, which is what you use to move items around your canvas or artboard. The second one is the scale. I'll come in this later. So let me just start with the frame tool. So the frame tool is primarily one of the most important tool in Figma. It is where you start your designs technically. It is your canvas to start your design for anything. This is a frame. And once you select a frame, you see that this menu item here changes. I want you to look at this sector. See, when I deselect, you see it is different. So this sector is actually like an intelligent panel in Figma. Whatever you select, it shows you the menu items that are relevant to what you have selected. So for example, I'm selecting a frame and I'm seeing this option X and Y. X and Y is just the position of this frame on my artboard. As I'm moving it around, you see that the
Hi,
figures are
Olatunji.
changing.
Sorry, hi, Olatunji.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so I
okay,
think we have a couple of people on the session now. So welcome IG,
okay,
welcome Karim, welcome Vivian, welcome Victory. So I think the thing is we need you to I think slow down your pace so that they can understand.
okay,
Like I think you're going a
okay,
little bit fast.
okay,
All
okay.
right.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll just start all over again. So like I said, I want to onboard you on the interface of Figma. What are the tools that are available in Figma and where to find the things you need. Firstly, I'm going to show you the toolbar. The toolbar is where you find every tool in Figma that you need to work technically. I'll walk you through the tools one after the other. And the first one I'm treating now is the frame. The frame tools here, once you come here, look at these tools. See some of them have these little arrows beside why some doesn't. Anyone that has these little arrows, that means there are additional tools under that tool. And when you click on it, that tools are under that particular tool. But for something like the text tool, there is nothing under it. That's pretty straightforward. So for the frame tool, which I said we'll be starting with technically, is I just come here and I select the frame tool, or I can click on this and then select the frame tool. Note that I can also use shortcut. The shortcut for the frame tool is F, but I think for now it might be better for you to just um avoid shortcuts for now. I don't know. I think it might be better for you to avoid shortcut for now until you are more confident with the platform. So for the frame two, you can just come here and you have a frame. So once you select a frame, you can drag on the canvas to form a shape. It's usually a rectangle by default, but you can obviously change it to anything like a square or anything like this. This is a frame. So a frame is actually like your canvas or your artboard where you're going to be putting all your designs. That is what a frame is in Figma. And the frame is probably the most important element. And also, I was talking about this panel here. This panel here is like an intelligent panel. It's going to show you relevant information based on the stuff you have selected on the artboard. So for example, I've selected a frame here and I am seeing relevant values for this frame. I'm seeing these items on top are what we call the alignment tools, but I don't need any of them now because there's only one item here and there's nothing for me to align to anything. So they are deselected. Then the second one here is we have this X and Y. These are just X and Y value of where the frame is on my dashboard. As you can see, once I move this thing around, the value changes. Then also I have my width and height values here. This is where how I can control the width and the height of this frame as I like. I can change it to anything I like. As you can see, the values are changing. Note, you can also come here and type in values by yourself. Although in most cases, you won't need to type in, you won't need like to put custom values in this frame. So one thing Figma has done that is very helpful for you is when you click on this arrow here that is showing frame, you are going to see different devices. So if, for example, I'm going to be designing for a mobile phone, I can decide that, okay, I want to use iPhone 13 mini Pro, and it actually gives me the size of that iPhone 13. And now I can start designing with the size of this iPhone 13 in mind. So I don't know if you get what I'm saying with the width and height too, and that's how it works. This other one here is your angle too. Maybe you want to like bend this frame to a certain angle. This is where you adjust the values. Note you can move them around. Note you can move the values around. And also most of these things I'm saying here are also going to apply to the rectangle too, but I'm going to show you that too. Then the other option here is your corner radius. So corner radius is basically making the corners of this your artboard round or whichever color you want to give it. Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Hi. So I think somebody said that she just downloaded Figma and she's trying to catch up.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, so Vivian, I'm going to advise that for now, just watch the class, then later you're going to try and do the things I'm doing. It might be quite difficult for you to watch the video and practice at the same time. Hello?
all right. Thank you. So you can continue.
Yeah, from my personal advice experience, I think it's better to watch the video than watch it again to practice. So, but I'm going to try to go as slow as possible. The thing is, I want us to get into mainly designing the screens unless Bukumi is going to drag my leg because I already said we are going to design screens, and that's why I'm just trying to move very fast in this fundamental stuff. But I'll slow down and try to make sure you actually get these things. Thank you very much. And very nice initiative trying to work on it because the truth at the end of the day, without actually going back and learning these things by yourself, no amount of classes will teach you. So that's awesome. So like I was saying, this is for corner radius. We don't really need that yet. This is auto layout. Auto layout is even something that stresses a lot of even senior designers. So definitely I'll not be talking about it yet. I'll be talking about it later today or tomorrow, but we don't need that for now. This option here is for using grid. So grid is primarily one of the most important things in design in terms of maintaining layouts. So a grid is a Okay, let me just turn this on and show you something. So can you see these lines? These are basically what grades are all about. They are for helping you position your design and so that you can maintain hierarchy and a clean layout. So for example, this grade now. So this grid now, I can see that this space here are my margins. I'm not going to put anything outside of this. And if I'm drawing another rectangle, I'm going to maintain this. If I need my rectangle to be this size, I just pick my grid and restrict it to my grid. This way I can make sure that my interface is clean rather than if I wasn't using a grid, I can just this can be a bit low, this can be like this. Sometimes that's what you need, but grid is majorly just to guide you. And so even if I decide that I want to do something like this with my interface, it's going to be intentional and not because I did not have my grid. I can just set up my lines like this and everything. So grid is majorly for guiding you. Also grid is a little bit advanced for the purpose of what I want to show you now. So I think we can get back to the grid session later. Yeah. So another important thing I'll be showing you here is so these layers is where we can control the opacity and the visibility of any item on this board. This is a rectangle I've drawn. I can decide that I want to reduce the opacity of this. I want to believe we know the meaning of opacity from the last class. But opacity is majorly, how should I say, it? Like transparency, if you get me. Like I want to make this item a little bit transparent. Maybe there is another thing under it. Let me change the color of this to like blue. Let me put this on top. So if I make this transparency 100, you see that that item under it is not showing at all. But if I make this 50, I mean, it's something like 50. You can see that a little bit of the item under it is showing. That's basically what opacity is, and the major thing you'll be doing with this layer. This layer also has some stuff like layer modes, but for now, I don't think you should be getting into it. It's more in the visual design kind of thing. These values and everything have the way they affect your value here. But for now, just don't touch it, just leave it in the pass-through. And also from here, can turn off this item or turn it on. Note that you can also do that from the layers panel, but that is also here. So the second thing we'll be talking about is the other thing we'll be talking is the fill. So fill is where I can affect the color of this item. You know, I said this is a rectangle. Let me turn it up back to 100. Let me turn it back to 100. So yeah, this is 100. So fill is where I can select the color for this item. So I can come here now and make it a red, make it a blue, make it anything I like. I can change the color as I like for this item. That is what a fill is. And secondly is a stroke. So stroke is a line that I'm drawing around the item. So I don't know if you can see the black line I'm drawing. I can decide I want to draw it outside. I want to draw it inside. I want to change the color of the field. Maybe I want it to be like this. Okay, so I can do anything I like with the stroke. I can change it. And I can also change the style of the stroke, the position of the stroke, sorry. I can decide I want only the bottom to have a stroke, and I can decide that I want only the top to have a stroke as I like. Also, I can change the style of the stroke. I can decide I want the stroke to be dashed lines or I want it to be straight lines. Can you confirm that I'm not going too fast, please? Okay. So I can decide to change it to dash lines, make it rounded, make it short, make it anyhow I like. Some of these these are basically the basic component that makes up the big screen I was showing you. Everything you saw in the screen earlier was made up of me manipulating these figures I'm trying to manipulate here. Thank you for that confirmation. So that's basically what the stroke is about. Then the effect. For now, the primary thing I will just show you in this effect is drop shadows. Drop shadow is more like an elevation technique that we use to actually add texture. Okay, let me just show you something. Look at this rectangle. This blue rectangle, you're going to see it looks like it is levitating, like it is on top and floating on the screen. But if I come here and turn off the drop shadow, it looks flat. That is basically what drop shadow is. Honestly, to actually do understand design, you need to learn the laws of UX, hierarchy, proximity. I'm going to be showing you that, and I'm going to share you material. There's these, I don't know, can you see my screen? Can you see laws of UX? Can you confirm what you're saying on my screen, please?
Yes. Lots of
Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, okay, so this is one powerful website I'm going to share with you to read and study much later. No, after this class, so you just understand some of the decisions we are going to be making. This is very good for understanding the basics of design, and it is a free website. Just come here and read through. So I'll share this with you later. I just wanted to mention that. So that is what drop shadow effect is. There are other effects. There's layer blur, there's background blur, there's inner shadow, but I don't want to bore you with too much for now. So the other option here is export, which is basically just exporting this as a PNG or PDF so it can be used in another file, but we don't need that for now, of course. So yeah. So that's basically what I've shown you on this panel. This panel is like your action panel. We have the prototype also here, but that's something we'll get to later tomorrow. I'll just show you a brief stuff about the prototyping. So back to this. So this is section. So under this frame, we have section. So section is majorly for grouping your designs together. If, for example, I have this frame here, I have this frame here, and these two frames are probably the same thing. Like this is a continuation of this. I can put them in a section so that they are together. And if another designer is working on it or a developer, they can see that these two are actually together. So I'll show you an example of that in the file. I'm going to be moving around my files a lot just to show you a finished work and an example of, okay, I've explained some stuff. So I'm going to show you how some of those stuffs were used in this real design, just for you to understand how some of those are used. So for example, now if you see, thank God, you can see that my grid is on. My grid was what I used to position all of these items so that they look centered in the layout. Let me just turn it off. Oh no, just turn off the grid. Yes, and also just if you come to this session now, you can see most of the things I told you. This was where I set the width of this button, the height, and these are some auto layout stuff. I don't want to show you auto layout. This is where I set the color, the stroke, and the shadow. So basically I'll take you through the anatomy of some of these components, the buttons and everything like that much later, but I just wanted to show you that. And this is what I was saying about a section being used to group pages together. So as you can see, these are the splash screens. This is 1, 2, 3. So rather than just having them scattered all around in my artboard, I just group them together with a section. And that's what a session is used for. That's how I use sessions. I think one important thing I need to mention to you in your journey to learning any technical skills is that when it comes to tech, there's usually more than one way to solve a problem. The way I'm solving some things, the way I'm attacking some things will not be the way another person you are watching on YouTube or something might do it. That doesn't mean I am wrong or the person is wrong. We just have different approaches. And that's why it's very important for you to do your own research and find the way that is more convenient to you. I am going to be talking based on my own experience and the way I work in my everyday life. So that's what I use sessions for, grouping items or pages that are related together. So the other one here is slides. Honestly, I can tell you confidently that I've never used this in my life. I don't even know what it is. That's actually quite sad for. But honestly, I've never used these slides before, and I don't even know what it is. I'm sorry. But definitely you can read up on it on your own. Like it might be interesting to you, but I've never used it. So yeah, so I'll move on to the next item here. The first one here is the rectangle. That's pretty simple. Draw it out, change the corner radius. It has, like I said earlier, it has the same values with the frame. So I can come here to, I can set the X and Y. I can set the width and the height, the corner radius. I can bend it. I can change the opacity. I can change the color, the stroke, the effects, everything I said earlier. I can also apply it to this rectangle. But the thing is, one mistake you should not make is that, see, if I draw this rectangle like this now, someone might argue that what's the difference between a rectangle and a frame, because they look exactly the same. Most of the functions are the same thing. So why should I not just draw a frame rather than drawing a rectangle? First thing is, like I said, a frame is supposed to be like a body that is holding multiple elements together. See what happens now. If I draw, let me draw another rectangle. I'm using R to get my rectangle. So if I draw this rectangle and I put it here, black, okay, black, so it is moving. If I draw this rectangle and I put it here, if you check this panel, you notice that this rectangle is just on its own, and this is on its own. They are not moving together. But if I draw this rectangle and I put it here, if you notice that, see how this is, I drag this way, you see that that frame becomes active. And if you look at this panel, you see that that rectangle I drew came inside this frame too. And now when I move this frame too, this rectangle is a child of this rectangle of this frame. So that is basically the difference. Like I said, rectangle is a standalone object and whatnot, while the frame can hold multiple items together. So I can come into this frame and I can draw my next item here, which will be my eclipse. My eclipse is what I use to draw a cycle. If you want to draw a cycle, you have to hold down your shift key so that you can draw a perfect circle. And yeah, you see, I can draw my circle. This circle is actually one interesting too. So I think I should just even show you a lot about more about it. So this so this is a very basic circle. Yes, that anybody draws, but now I can actually do stuff interesting with it. I can change it to something like this, change it then, and I don't know what that is, but I have an interesting shape. Like, it can be used to form different shapes. That's one thing I love about Figma. Like, it has actually simplified some of these things that you are going to find difficult, or in other tools you might need to be joining different. But with this, with the cycle, I was able to form this shape immediately without anything. And I don't know, this looks like a Pokemon or something. Yeah, so like this now I have a yeah. So basically that's what a cycle is for. It's for drawing round shapes, and you can manipulate the values, you give it different values. We are going to use something like this in the design if we get to that screen, but yeah. Okay, so that's what a cycle is. So I'll show you the next one. So rectangle, another interesting tool is very simple. This is a triangle, a three side, but I don't need a triangle. I need a, let's say I don't know. Yes, this way. Who knows what a pentagon is? I need a pentagon. So I put in 5 and I have a pentagon. Honestly, I hope
That's
I'm
a
not embarrassing
pentagon. Don't
myself, but
worry.
yeah.
That's a pentagon. That's fine.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Okay, so pentagon, like I need octagon, put the number of sides and these changes. So that's one of the important interesting thing. Some of these shapes are not really common in design, but every now and then they are going to need them to do stuff. So I need this. Need a what's it called, pentagon. I can, and that's it for the triangle too. So we also have a star too here, like as a star boy now. I don't know if you're a star boy or a star girl. So you can actually draw a star with this also. And with the star also, you can also change the number of points that it has to make it a more interesting shape. You can move values around, you can play around. All these things I'm telling you, you're actually not going to understand it until you try them. So like Vivian tried earlier, once we are done with this class, I think this class will be on YouTube. So just download this, open the Figma account and start trying to move around in this and still just try to play around with some of these shapes and values I'm showing you for you to understand the platform better. So that's a star. Then this is a pen tool. You see, the pen tool is probably one of the most important tool as a designer in any tool. And at the same time, it's a tool that takes the most strength and power to master. Learning how to use the pen tool can help you to create really interesting tools. And obviously we are not going to be going too much into that, but the pen tool is basically just you drawing points and connecting them together. There are people that can create a lot of awesome shapes just with this pen tool, but unfortunately I'm not one of them. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. I'm not an illustrator, but the pen tool is basically used to create you see most of those arts you see online and everything that we are marveled about. One of the primary tool they use is actually the pen tool to create these shapes, and it's a pretty awesome tool. There are also games and stuff you can use to master the pencil. I'll be dropping most of these resources in the group. Also, yes, I'll be dropping a lot of resources in the group for people here so that you can watch some videos of some other professionals that have actually handled this topic. So this is actually the pencil tool. And honestly, it is another tool I've never used in my life in Figma. I've used it in Illustrator, but I've never had the course to use it in Figma. I don't know if you will, but it is basically, as you can see, it's just used for, as the name says, it is a pencil. Can be used to write stuffs, draw shapes, and yes, can be used to write stuffs on your dashboard. But like I said, I've never used it. These stuffs might actually be used more by people that are illustrators and all. But for me, I've never used this pencil too. So those are the two. Then the text tool, definitely a very sweet guy. Text tool is where you write stuffs in your Figma, is where you write, is where you type in Figma. So this is all the text. This is what happens in it. So we are going to be going a little bit in details into the pencil and what happens with it. Okay, so like I said, this side is an intelligent panel. See what happens. I select a rectangle and see the options it is showing me. I select a text and see the options it is showing me. So as you can see, I have this text option here. I can now use to format this text as I like. So if I come here, I can change the font of this to whichever. Maybe I want to make it this. And I can change the font size too. I can change it to any figure I like. I can change the font size. I can change the this one doesn't have that. I can change the width, everything now to do about this text. I can do that. Yeah. So every time I want to do about this text, I can do that here. This is line height. The typography is actually a very large topic that I definitely cannot cover in these classes, but I'm just going, these are just the values of where you format a text to make it make sense. I think one important thing I must cover do is these alignment options here. So if, for example, I want to make this text in the center here, I select this. I want to make it to the left, I select this. On top, bottom, middle, I select this. It is majorly for formatting the text in the middle of this text box I have drawn. Okay, there are other options here also, but definitely we can't get into all of them at the moment. The purpose of this class is just to show you what is possible with Figma and also to motivate you to actually get started and study the materials I'm going to be sharing with you. So I can change the font, I can change the color here like before, I can change it to anything I like, and yeah. Yeah, so you can have so much fun with this text too. So the other option here is for importing components into your design. We are going to get back to this in a bit. There are actually some pretty component that I myself actually just discovered are available in Figma today. I was quite happy. So this is the ant tool. So the ant tool is basically for panning around your dashboard or your canvas. By panning around, I mean moving around. So you see, I'm not moving anything, but I'm moving this item in view and moving it out of view with my hand tool. By doing that, I'm just clicking my mouse and dragging around, and I can move to whichever section of the page I want to see. So that's what the answer is. Then the third option here is a comment. So for example, like I said, the primary reason why people use Figma is because of the collaborative environment where other people can come and comment on the file you're working on. But for the purpose of this class, we're doing that also. I'll just keep that. Okay, so one tip I'm going to share is that when you come to these help and resources in this Figma, you can see Figma shortcuts. So technically shortcuts helps you to work faster and everything, but trying to cram shortcut is kind of like is not really advisable, but every once in a while it will be nice for you to come to this shortcut and just see what is possible. But firstly, I want you to understand how to find whatever you need. And for me, the most powerful and the most important shortcut in Figma that I know is command and the backslash key. It actually shows you this menu that you can actually use to search anything you want to do. Maybe you want to paste an image, you want to open anything. This is probably the most important, but we'll get back to that later. So back to showing you what I said I just found out today, and it was actually pretty exciting for even me myself was. So if you come to this panel, you are going to see you are seeing three options. There's layers, there's asset, and there's pages. So pages, for now, you don't really have anything to do with pages because even on the free plan, Figma limits the number of pages you can open, but you don't need that at all. But layers is technically is all of this. This is a layer, this is a layer, this is a layer. All of these things are layers. And name your layers in your design. I'm very, very serious. Yes, name your layers. I said it. Yeah, so we'll get back to that when we are doing real design and everything like that. So these are layers and these are pages. So one thing I said I just found out today is apparently Figma has this, when you come to these assets, it actually has some assets that they have actually preloaded for you. So when you come to the UI kits, you're going to see these three assets that are already added for you and preloaded for you in your Figma file. I'm going to show you what this means. Well, let me add this to my file. I already added this. Let me add this also. So in most times in designing, you don't start from scratch. You start from somewhere. Maybe there's a free template, maybe there's a template you have created, and that's basically what this UI kit means. It means these people, these awesome people have actually created some free template for you to work from. So we have this Material 3 design. Material 3 is Android, basically Google. So if you want to create an Android application and whatnot, I advise you just go to Material 3. If you want to do iOS, I advise you come to the iOS menu here. But of course, most of these are sometimes interchangeable. So yeah, now Figma has actually imported these things and they have a lot of free items for you to just import directly to your screen and start working with some of the homes and screens you are familiar with. I'm trying to find something interesting. Okay. I'm trying to find something. Okay, so yes, let me just insert this. I agree to yes. So as you can see, I already went there and I've actually inserted this item directly from Framer, directly from Figma. Figma already provided this asset for me, and this is like a mobile application screen. Let me show you another one that might be more interesting. If you use an iPhone, you're going to see that this is the user interface of the control center of the new iOS 18 that is not even out yet for most users. And you can come here to study this thing and learn how they actually design it. See, I'm going to tell you confidently that, see, the best way to learn how to design is to skill design. Don't put someone work and say it's your own, please. But the best way for you to learn design is you see what others have designed and try to recreate it. Someone like me, if I was learning design and I said, if I was still in my early stage where I was learning, this would have been like a good mind for me, because that means I can come to this screen now, import it here, then I'll draw my own frame and try and see how I can recreate some of these things that are here. If we didn't have the screens we wanted to recreate already, I would have said we should start doing this, but this would be a good mind for. And yes, I think we will do something like this. Yes, should we just, let's just do this today, then tomorrow we'll focus on the application we want to design. I think that might be a better approach. Can someone just confirm in the chat if that is okay? We should just find something here, design it, then tomorrow we'll do the one we had planned before. Very okay. Also, so should I look for a more interesting screen, or we should do this one that we already have in front of us? Let me see if I can get a more interesting screen. Yeah, okay. Insert. Okay. This is more just like a calendar. I don't think it's more interesting. Yeah. Okay. These are the examples they have for us. These are the examples they have for us. So let's just recreate this. Let's just recreate this. Okay. Yeah. Now let's get the party started. Okay, so moving this out now. So like I said, if I am just learning how to design and I have access to a file like this that is done by top designers, the first thing I'll do is I'll try to recreate this design exactly the way they have done it. So I'm going to come to this layer. For example, I'm trying to find what I need to turn off. I don't need this phone at the moment, so I turned the phone off. If we come to this layers option, I said here, there are this a little eye icon, and that was how I was able to turn this up. I don't need to design that as part of my screen for now. All I need is this. So I'm going to also come here. This is the main item that they have designed. What I'll do first is I'll try to understand what they have done and how they did it. I'm going to open the layers here, and I'm seeing a lot of group. Don't let anything you see here just overwhelm you that there are a lot of things. Most of these things, like when you look at a design, the way me I tackle design is I break it down component by component. I look at it like, okay, this section is one component. I just need to design this section for now. Then later I'll figure out how to design this. That is how me I tackle design and anything I want to learn in general. So one thing that might be difficult is that these items are actually made as component, but for the sake of this class, I'll just detach it from the main component so that we don't have any issues. So when, oh, no need to detach it. Let me just come here and see what is happening. So I'm looking at this thing now, and I want to look at this top section. I want to understand why there's an image in this background and how they got the image. So I've selected this already. I'm seeing here that there's no fill of the image here. I'm going to go to the back, and I'm seeing that there's a wallpaper. The image is this wallpaper that actually adds the image. As you can see, there's a field here with this. So if I turn this off, you're going to see that that goes off. And quite honest, I feel like this is actually quite disturbing, but that's great for another day. So this is the image here that they use as the background. I can actually use an image of my own. It's not compulsory I use theirs. So, and first thing, for my frame, I want to make sure my frame is actually the same size with their frame so that we can do something as close as possible. So for this frame, when I select it, don't forget when you come to this section, you're going to see the width and the height of the frame. I can see that the width of this frame is 393 and the height is 852. 393. So I changed this, my friend, to 393. and 852. That means we have the same height. Also, when I look at this dashboard, I'm seeing that they are using a border radius, like this corner around it. And when I look at it here, I'm seeing that the value of this corner is actually 22. So I'm going to come here to and put my value to 22. First things first is, like I said, they have a background that they have called wallpaper. How do I create this wallpaper now? For me, one approach I can do is I just need to create a rectangle and put it at the bottom of this, then give it an image. Then use that image. So this is a rectangle that I have already put at the bottom of my, then I need to change the field from color to image. Should I? Let me just go to Unsplash. So, oh, good. How do I explain Unsplash? Okay, yeah. So in Figma, there are plugins and there are websites that I can use to quickly get free stuffs that you need. Unsplash is a platform where you can get pictures. Unsplash is a very popular website among designers for getting pictures and stuff like that. And it has a plugin in Figma. You need to download the plugin. But for the purpose of this class, I'll just use my plugin Unsplash man, a saved plugin. I'll just look for Unsplash. Where's Unsplash? So Unsplash is loading. It's loading. So I'm just going to use an image here. Okay, let's say this is my image that I want to use. I just click on it and yes. So now I have my background. Ignore the watermark. Now them sabi. So now I have my background on this image. But I don't know if you can see, you will notice that there's a little bit of blur in this. Like the image is not really sharp. Another thing I can do is try and inspect what they have done to understand how they were able to get that effect of making it look blur like that. So I'm trying to see pass through. These are the controls at the bottom. No. So you see, they have an overlay. That they have this overlay that is actually affecting that is what is making the scene blur. If you come here and turn it off, you're going to see that the background shows a little bit more than when you have this overlay off. Can you see? I'm showing you how to use this file in real time. Like if you, what about Binance? So Binance is majorly for sharing your work and stuff like that. You can get inspiration from Binance, but not necessarily pictures and artworks you can use in your design. So Binance is majorly for showing your work. Unsplash is for downloading free stock. They are also paid stock, but they are free stock materials for you. The one I love the most is Free Pick, but Unsplash is also awesome. Thank you for that question. So like I said, I'm showing you how to use their file in real time to study and investigate how these top designers actually came up with this thing. That is why I'm following some of this approach that I'm following. So now I actually checked and I see that they used an overlay here and that's why they have this blur effect. So what I'll do is how do I'll add an overlay to my own design. I don't need all of these things at the bottom. As you can see, they are not part of the screen we're trying to design right now. They are just in the background, but they have this overlay here. And one way is I just need to copy the values of this overlay and use it in my own design for me to achieve this overlay. So another thing is, what do I need? I need to draw a rectangle again, but rather than drawing a new one, I can just duplicate the one I had before by doing Ctrl C, Ctrl V. But the value here is still the image I copied from it. So I come back to this overlay and I try to copy the figures that they used here. So I'm saying they attached 3 colors. Can someone, I'm going to be asking you of these colors. So the first color they added here is 4444, and they named it, the percentage is 60%. They have EEE 100, 11100. So they have the 3 colors and they have a layer, a background blur on it. So I'm coming here now. What values do I add to this to make it a overlay like they did? So anybody? No. Anybody? 4 4 4 4. Yeah. So 4 4 4 was the first one. Then E 1 1 1. Then I add this plus. This plus is going to add another column on top, and this is E. Then there's another one on top, and that one is 1 1 1. Yeah, so they have different values. This one was 60, and these two were 100, 100, 100, 100. Then there is a background blur on this. So I change it to background blur and I reduce the value. Now something is wrong. So I didn't get the value right. Let's check again. 60, 100, 100, 100, background blur. 60, 100, 100, 100. This is pass through 100. This is background blur 45. So why is mine not working? So this is okay. No. So this is my overview. Mhm. Okay, this is theirs. Yeah. Okay, so like can someone just confirm that you can hear me in the comment section, please? Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Busaya. Okay, so this the value. Yes, thank you, Timothy. Thank you for that confirmation. So background blur, they added background blur 40, and this one too. Right? Then why is this working and this is not working? Oh, okay. So uh, yeah, so yes, yeah, okay, yes, I've gotten the value right. So this is the overlay that they added, and now it's just a matter of inserting this other thing. One or something that they have done for you with this asset that they did here is that they have also added some of these components one after the other. So you don't need to start redesigning the icons. So if I come back to this file now and I inspect, let's say I come here and I check the home indicator, I can see they used home indicator at the bottom of this file. If I come back to my assets now and I find home indicator, where is home indicator? Yeah, see home indicator is here. So I can insert it in my design. I can insert it in my artboard. I can insert it in my own design here. Come back to my layer. Come back to my layers of this. This is my home indicator. Drag it inside this frame of my home. Then put it at the bottom. Put it at the bottom. So I want to come here. I want to change the color to white like they did here. I come inside here. I select this, and I for now I'll just detach this and change this color to off. That's white. And that's for the bottom section. So secondly, I come back to this file now. I let's say I want to do this section, the status bar. So the status bar contains this bar, the Wi-Fi, everything. Let me go back to the assets that they provided for me earlier and see if I can find that status bar there. See the status bar here. I can just drag it, insert it into my design again. And this is it here. Come back to my layers, put my status bar inside my file and take it to the top of my design. Okay, they have it somewhere around here. When you look at their own design, see the status bar here, even though they changed the design. So I can move this to somewhere around here. I can turn off the background because as you can see, they are not using a background here. If you turn it off and change the color from black, change it to white again. Change it to white again. As you can see that little by little, we're still far off, but at least we're still getting close to what they have done. Another major component here can be, okay, let's start with this guy. This guy is actually this group here. So what they have is, they have a lot of stuff here. They have this icon for airplane mode. They have this icon for airdrop, this for cellular, all of these small icons. So for this purpose, I will just kind of zoom into this section. So for this, I'm going to draw a frame that is going to be in this section. So I come here and I draw a frame. Let me confirm the size of this frame that they drew. This frame is 151 by 151. I come back and I draw a 151 by 151. This is the shape here. I've drawn it. I'm aligning it to this like they did in theirs. Now looking at this, our battery is kind of different from theirs, like this status bar, but doesn't matter. We are going to have something close at the end of the day. So this is my frame that I have drawn that I want to use to draw this. I've confirmed the size. So what's the feel? What's the background color of this their frame? The field is it has these two field values. The first one is 333, the second one is 00. This is 30 and this is 30, and this is 20 and this is 35. So I can come here, give it two colors. The first one is, can someone tell me what the first color is? 33300. Yeah, thank you. So 333. And the second one is 000. Yeah, what is the opacity of the first one? What's the opacity of the one with 333? Can someone tell me? The opacity is 35 and the second one is 20. 35 and this 20. So as you can see, we're already having something close to what they do here. So secondly is, as you can see, these corners here are rounded. So how did they make this corner round? I just want to confirm the figure. I come back to something like this and I check that this figure here, they give it a border radius of 30. Corner radius of 30. And that's what I will also give it in my own side. Thank you very much for Busayo. So I'm giving it a corner radius of 30. And now I have my first frame, which is going to contain all of these items that are here. So I'll start with the plane. Sorry about that. So I'll start with the plane, and as you can see, like I said, anytime I'm looking at a design, I divide it into components, section by sections. Now I picked the whole of this design. I divided it into 3 different sections. This bottom was one section. This is one. This is one. Now I am into this section that I want to design now. And in my head now, I've also divided this section into 4 different sections. Number 1 is this airplane. Number 2 is the Wi-Fi. And this is number 3 and this is number 4 section that I've divided this particular frame that I want to design into. So first things first is I want to understand how they were able to make this airplane mode stuff. Like I said, this is just for you to practice how designers actually work in Figma. You are still going to need to do a lot of work to understand the UX behind these decisions. But with this, you can actually practice, this is how this person did this. And the fact that you have files like this to learn from is pretty awesome in my opinion. So back to this file. I'm doing like it, I'm following it the way I believe a beginner should be able to follow it. So if there's anything I'm explaining or I'm saying that is not that is sounding technical, please just call me back. Yeah, so just in this frame now, the first thing I want to add is this airplane. So what I can see that they did here is that they have this circle. They have this circle here, and they have this circle here, and they have this airplane here as a symbol. As this airplane here is supposed to be like a vector or something. So let me just, yeah. So they have this circle here, and this airplane is actually inside it here. That is what they did. Also here, the same thing is happening here. This is vector. So these vectors are actually called icons. There are sites you can get free icons for, and there are also free templates in Figma that you can use to get free icons. I'll show you those also. So yeah, so what I want to do now is I want to draw my circle and start putting each of these vectors or these icons inside it one after the other. So what's the size of this circle is the first thing I want to check here. The size of this circle is 56 by 56, and these are the colors here. Can someone know these colors for me? 111, Siski. 777 100, then 222 100. Someone should know these colors for me. So when we come here, I just first things first, I want to draw my circle that I drew. Remember what I said earlier, if you want to draw a perfect circle, you have to hold down your shift key so that it is perfect. And the size I want is 56, right? 56. So yes, the size I want is 56. So the values, there were three colors that they used to achieve this look like this. Looking at this, this is a bit complex, but I think we are following along. Am I correct? Can someone confirm that we are following along and it's not getting too complex? Yeah, so they have three colors, 111. Yes, and 111 was 60. 222 was 100. Yeah, thank you for keeping the color. Thank you for keeping the color, for remembering the color codes. Was 100. Then FFF. I don't think F will occur. Then FFF is 100. Okay. No, I think something is wrong. Let me check. Yeah, so this is 111777 and 222. 111777 and 222. And so colors in okay. Okay. So 111777 and 222 100. Yes. Siski 100. Siski 100. Yeah, so now we have a much more closer color to that. And this icon here. So for us to get this icon here now, I'm going to use another. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Sorry. Let's get that's fine. So for us to get the icon that is inside this, yes, I made a very big mistake. I said earlier that when you are using a shape, the difference between a frame and a shape is that a frame can hold stuffs inside. So I drew a eclipse here. This now cannot hold anything inside of it. And like this is, if I put another shape here, if I come here now and I use my plugin, so for us to come here, use our plugins, you can come here, come to plugins, and you'll be able to find some of the free plugins are in Figma. There are quite a lot, and from here you can get some free resources. So for now, I want to get icons, and for me to get icons, one of the free plugins I can use is content. I think content is this plugin. Yes, content tree. I can use content tree to get my icons. what's it called? Icons. And just here, just come here. Just come here. It's not going to come free, I guess. This one wants me to log in, and I don't want to log in my account. I don't want to log in my account. So let's just copy the icons. Let's copy the icons from here. Oof, I said so. I said so. This is going to be very long. Okay, so we are actually sorry. 1 hour has passed now, and we are not even halfway done and everything. But I want to believe that I've actually shown you some of the basics and some of the things, how to navigate around Figma. Like I said, the purpose of this particular class was just to show you how to navigate in Figma. I think I should have just chosen a simpler screen like this one to show you this, and we would have been able to finish it before the time was over. But in our class tomorrow, we are going to just go straight into designing this application I showed you earlier. So for those that showed late, no, sorry. I think I should just round up now. For those that joined late, let me just show you. I want to show you the prototype of the application that we're actually going to be designing in this class tomorrow. So I'm starting the prototype. This is the application. So this is an application that I designed as a case study for myself, and because of you guys are my friends and my people. Like, I'm just showing you guys, and I'm also going to give you this file for you to practice with. So basically, it's a very simple application. It's an application that's supposed to be like an AI learning partner, kind of like ChatGPT. Like I said, I was just doing it for a case study. So let's get started. You create an account, you enter these factors. Congratulations, tell us your interest. You complete this form. Move on, complete. I will also show you how to do this prototype. Tomorrow's class, we're going to use 1 hour, 30 minutes. Yes, I'm going to make sure that we fit this whole onboarding experience, and you have this the landing page. So I'm going to try and make sure that I show you how I designed all of these screens that I have shown you earlier today. And that's what we are going to be focusing on tomorrow. Please try to come early so that we can start earlier. And just prepare. We're going to be using like 1 hour, 30 minutes, and we'll just be diving straight into this design. I think that's it for me for now. Thank you very much. Bukumi, you can take over. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Olatunji. So I'm trying to think about, okay, so basically, when we're talking about this, I'd like to ask you in front of the entire audience, should we make this 3 session so that you can you say 1 hour 30 minutes, you're not going to like finish this in 1 hour 30 minutes tomorrow. I'm very sure of that. So I don't know if you
Okay,
want.
so right now you're putting me on the spot, but let's see how
Yeah.
tomorrow goes. If we're unable to finish it, then I can take one more session. Like I said, I'm going to just jump straight into the. If we're unable to finish it, I can take one more session.
One does
No,
not need
God,
bet.
I must have. Yeah, let's do that.
It's recording.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to mute. Okay. So yeah. So thank you so much, Olatunji Olawale. Yes. Okay. So I don't know what's called, but I'll go with facilitator. Yeah. So basically, thank you guys so much for joining. Today we talked about introduction to user interface design. So basically, I'm going to be sharing the prototype to the group so that we can have an idea of what we're about to do before tomorrow. Thank you so much, Ola, for joining. So I think somebody has a question. So I'm gonna be calling Busayo to give a comment quickly.
Okay. Thanks for today's section, and it's actually it's very nice, and I learned a lot, even though I know most of the things there. Well, it's interesting. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So me personally now, I'm also a UI UX designer too, but not fully like that. So I want to know if I can learn more on it, like one-on-one. Because also you could leave me alone. So because okay, I've actually done some things,
Okay, so
just
Bisayo,
yeah.
sorry to cut you short, but you know this stuff is, I think it's going to be posted on YouTube. So Bukumi has my number. You can get my number from her and send me a message.
Are you not adding an invoice? Because I can see you call me as your number. Like that. Okay. No problem.
Okay, I will
Okay,
do
I think
that.
someone else is asking another question. Okay, so like I said, this class is just an introduction class. I'm going to actually put together a list of resources that can actually help you get started. But Dean, you can also send me a message. I think I'm in the Telegram chat also. I'm going to put together a list of resources that can help you get better. I do understand that learning these technical skills can be quite troublesome for most people sometimes. So I try to do my best to help people. But of course, I also have my own personal life and responsibility, so I can't really be there. But there are quite a lot of awesome resources online that even I myself often go back to learn from, and I can share some of these resources with everyone in this class. I'm going to put together a list of resources and share with everyone.
Right. Thank you so much, everyone. So basically, he just said he's on the Telegram channel. So if you need anything, please just reach out to him. I think when he even drops the record the resources, we can all just reach out to him. Just text him via the number he uses to chat on the Telegram. If you're coming through me, you're going to be paying. Yes, I'm going to send you invoice for his number. Thank you. All right. So we've come to the end of today's class. Amazing session. Thank you so much, Olatunji. Thank you so much for being here. Don't worry, I'll not hold you by your your word again because everybody decided that okay, we're going to change the class and and maybe tomorrow we'll see if we'll add another session to it. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, we've come to the end of the class. Bye.